And we're back. Hey, gang. I bet you didn't think you would see me like twice in 2 days, considering the fact that I haven't been here for damn near 6 months or more. And, but I hope you're tuning in to our. Actually, yesterday we did the sort of a dry run of our podcast that we're developing here. And today we're going to actually try to create the audio track for that podcast. Podcast is called The All New Adventures of the Thin Man, which is a name they gave me way back when I weighed 138 pounds, all the way up until the age of about 40. So, hey, I do want to introduce you to my good friend Don, coming at you from all the way down there in Los Angeles, California. Say hello there, terrorist.
Buddy, it is the terrorist of I don't know. Oh, I'm missing the sunglasses out. Trying to stay warm here in SoCal. You know, they say sunny and everything. Yeah, nowhere cloudy and rainy for days on end now.
Yep. He's getting the rain while we got the snow up here. So let's see. Let me get back here in the shot over there. There we go. I had to park him back in his spot. So we are filming on 2 or 3, 4 cameras here for our podcast, because we're going to post the edited version of our podcast here on YouTube, where people, if they want to watch the behind the scenes, they can come here and watch it. If they just want to listen to the podcast going down the fucking freeway, listen to the little shits in the back seat, you can tune them out and listen to the podcast. So here's how it's going to work. Long story short, the Thin Man, the all new Adventures of the Thin Man, is going to be short stories, never more than 20 to 30 minutes long. And they're going to be things that have occurred to me or happened to me or I've done or I've almost been killed at in my lifetime. Now, all these are separate topics. They're different little short stories, and they're all 100% true stories. Some of them you are not going to believe, but they all are going to be true. Now, Don will verify these because I've showed him pictures and I've, told him most of these stories in the past. But at some point during these stories, I'm going to throw in a little tidbit that is complete bullshit. Now, if you can hear that, if you can spot that little piece of pure fiction, then all you got to do is call me out on it down in the comments. If you do figure out which one little tidbit in there, like let's say I'm talking about climbing to the top of a volcano, and I was, sitting on the edge of the volcano with my legs dangling over the edge, and then this hot-looking blonde came up there. She ripped off all of her clothes, and she made love to me right there in the lava rocks. That was all bullshit. But if it was true, you just have to figure out which part of it was not. Like maybe the blonde didn't lay me down on that bed of hot molten lava, or maybe I didn't dangle my feet over the edge. Like I said, if you can figure out which one it is, you are going to go into our finalists, and I am going to give away the Powervision Power Egg. Now, not brand new and not sponsored by Powervision or from Peter down there at Ace's Deals. I'm just giving away mine. I don't fly it that often. It's a nice drone. You may have to buy a battery for it, but and it's even in full costume because we're using it as an alien creature in a movie we were making. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to jump right to it, and we're going to spin the wheel. So watch this. Let's see if I can even get it in there. I didn't plan on this part of it. There. See that wheel? Here we go. So let me give you a little preview here. This wheel is filled with all of the different topics that we thought you might be entertained by. Let's turn Don around. Hey, Don.
Hey.
So here's the wheel. We've got bucket list murder suspect. Check. We've got Sacramento's most insane disc jockey, from fathead to fame, in search of Eric Garcia. I shit on my boss's desk. I was a playground terrorist. The Russians suck at hide and seek. Treading water in the Marianas Trench. Codename Condor. 500 Buddhas. The last to legally drone Yosemite. How to run away with a convicted Mormon. Building, then burning the world's largest clock. And we're back to murder suspect. But I promised Dawn and my wife, and especially since the last time I discussed politics on DEMUNSEED, I lost like 600 subscribers in less than 24 hours. So I decided maybe I shouldn't talk politics anymore. But I got it on the wheel. Right there, and in fashionable gold. This gold here has got Trump's name on it. If we ever land on that Trump slice of the pie right there, you better buckle up because we're going there. Okay? So, you ready to spin there, Don?
Oh, yeah. Give it a whirl.
Here we go. Today's topic of discussion for episode 1 of the all-new Adventures of the Thin Man is 500 Buddhas. So this should be fun. This is actually a pretty good story because the end of this story is so interesting and unexpected that I actually went on a speaking tour to tell this story over and over again because it was such a huge event here in Colfax. So back in 2003, I owned let's turn Don around. He's still staring at the wheel. Back in 2003, I owned a gift shop in Colfax, and it was called Better Than Naked. And the city wanted me to call it something like Railroad Gifts or something historic. And I wasn't going to have any part of that. I wanted to name it something really off the wall so people would pay attention. So we called it Better Than Naked. And we sold all kinds of unusual gifts. We didn't sell anything you could buy just at any other store. We wanted to sell stuff that you couldn't find anywhere else. Like we had edible bug candy, and we had like specially made laser cut crystals that had really bizarre things in them. But anyway, while I was at that store, we printed t-shirts and all that kind of thing. I had a guy come in. He was a prospector out here in this area. And he comes walking in. His name is Herman Henry. And Herman comes in. He's about 65 years old or so. And he's got this sack. And he says, hey, I want you to do me a favor since you're all internet and you know all about this, this World Wide Web stuff. He said, I found these pieces while I was down prospecting in the American River. You have a fucking parrot on your lap, Don?
No, I've got nothing going on my end.
Something keeps going. I don't know what it is. But anyway, okay, so we'll get back to it here. So in his bag, he dumps this bag out on my counter right there at the store. And in that bag, there's these porcelain Buddha heads. They look just like Buddha. They get the little snails all over his head, and it's got that perfect porcelain face and everything. And about half of them were about this tall. And then there were a small version. And then there was like a Chinese hat, like a cone hat. And there was a little blob with a green emerald little inlacing in it. And there was like 5 different unique pieces. But you could tell that they had all been hand poured in like a mold. And he found these in a river, in the river. And this is a river where gold prospectors and all that have worked it for years, all the way back to, the mother lode and the gold rush and all that. And back in the 1800s, it also we had the Chinese that were right here in the area, and they worked the railroad, trying to get the railroad from California over to the Golden Spike in, where was that? In, I forgot.
Montana. Oh.
No, it was in Nevada, I think, where they drove the spike. But anyway, so all these Buddha heads, he wanted to know where they came from. Now, at first look, and thinking about where he found them and all that sort of thing, I said, well, the Chinese used to live down there because they weren't allowed to live in town. So I said, maybe they like buried them there somewhere, and maybe the winter runoff unburied them and scattered them all through the river. Because the way he found them is he was sniping. And sniping, when you're a gold hunter, means you put on your snorkel mask and your snorkel and your fins, and you got your crevice tool, and you just go down to the bottom of the river, and the river might only be 3 or 4 feet deep, but you just go along and you dig out the cracks in the river looking for gold. Well, while he was doing that, floating along in the river, all of a sudden he looks down and there's this Buddha staring back at him. So he picked that one up, and then, 4 or 5 feet more, there was another one, and another 4 of them were over here. They were just scattered all the way down through this riverbed. And so he collected as many as he could. Like I said, he had about 500 of them by the time he, finished the weekend out and brought them into town. And so I said, I'll tell you what, I kind of wheeled and dealed with him. I said, if you give me like 75, 100 of them or so, I'll do all this research for you and see if I can figure out where they came from. So he says, okay. So I picked out a whole bunch of different ones. And so I had my cut, right? So then Herman heads on home. And so my strategy was I would look for it online and do the research online and ask questions about, where these might have came from. But, okay. So I have got a little bit of an emergency call coming in through my ear. So I got to take that call. So you're going to have to wait to hear the rest of the story. And in the meantime, I want to ask you guys before I make that call back, because this is important too. Can you guys hear the chirp that's coming from Dawn? Because I can hear it in my ear, but I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's kind of every 2 or 3 seconds. I know it's not your fault, Don, but I'm hearing some kind of like a. Can you guys hear it? I can see your comments. So somebody let me know if you can hear just sort of a pop, crack, occasional sound. Dino, can you hear that? Or Blazing Laser? Andy, talk to me. Billy Ford. Oh, Ace's deals. Peter got out of drones and he's in the sublimation business now. So Billy Ford says he can hear the little popping and chirping. Dino says he can't. I don't know what that means. Can you? Wait, listen. Move your phone around, Don. No, it's not the phone. And talk to me for a sec, Don.
How about now? Is it like a digital noise?
No, I can hear you fine. No, it's just some sort of it sounds like you're taking like 2 coconuts and going. That's what it sounds like. Let's see.
Are you still hearing it now?
Yeah, Dan Brook is saying that he hears it. There, I just heard it there.
Oh, I just disconnected my phone cord, so let's try that and see. Maybe that was.
Yeah, it might have been that. Anyway, but I got to take this call. So obviously, this is going to be another one of those dry runs. So I hope you guys will hang in here for me. And this is one of those learning moments. I have to turn off my goddamn incoming call, whatever, so it doesn't sit here right in front of the screen where I can't see you anymore. So we'll get back to this. I'll try to get back to it today. And hey, do me a favor, you guys, comment, let me know what you think about this format of, how I explained it. We're going to spin the wheel. I'm going to tell you these different adventures, like getting swept out to sea in the Marianas Trench or in search of Russian nukes. And like I said, it's all true, but there's going to be one little bit of bullshit that you have to figure out in order to win that drone and price it off into the future. So comment below and we'll try to get back on this today. We're going to have to do it from the beginning because this all has to go together in one audio track that I'll post to Anchor and Google and Apple and all of our podcast things. And hear that? Did you hear that just now? Damn it, Don! Quit being so fucking still! We'll be back!
It might be me moving around. I don't know.
I don't know. Fuck it.